Hello, everyone. Welcome to Week 12 predictions. Last week I went 5 of 9. Yeah, it was a very sad performance. It wasn't great at all. But anyway, our total record 27-31, and hopefully I can end the year on a winning record. Let's get going. Alright, so for this week we have no teams on bye, and we're going to start off with Thanksgiving football, which are quite a few games. Thanksgiving. All right, so start off, we have the Packers taking on Detroit. Packers getting lucky in their win last week against the Chargers. Chargers could not catch the ball, and their defense didn't play well. They let Jordan Love look good. Of course, Packers got lost another running back, and they take on the Lions, which had a comeback win against the Bears. So I won't be surprised if the game is close, but I am going to take the Lions in this one. All right, so for the next game, we have the Commanders taking on the Cowboys. So for the Commanders, losing to Tommy DeVito and the Giants. Sad, sad day. That was not a fun game. And they take on the Cowboys, who decimated the Panthers. It was not fun for the Panthers, but we all kind of expected it, so it wasn't a surprise. And so, yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I know it's a divisional game, and for some reason, sometimes Washington, they might win. I don't know. They played Eagles competitively, so maybe they play the Cowboys competitively. But yeah, no, I don't trust it. All right, so for next game, we have the 49ers taking on the Seahawks. 49ers are on a roll. They look like they're going to stomp every team that gets in their way. And I mean, I don't see Seattle stopping them. They lost the Rams last week, and yeah, I have the Niners here. All right, so for Black Friday game, we have the Dolphins taking on the Jets. The Jets, very bad pick by me. That was why. Why did I pick that? Miami, they won against the Raiders in a close game. Raiders had a bajillion chances to win that game. Honestly, probably should have won. And yeah, Miami will definitely win this week. I don't think Jets and Tim Boyle, I think is his name, has a chance to win this. So yeah, I'm gonna take Miami. All right, so for Sunday football, we start off with the Saints and the Falcons. They were both on bye last week. Yes, I learned that. They were both on bye last week, and Atlanta, Arthur Smith, not looking great. And New Orleans, they're not looking too awesome, but they're looking better than the Falcons, so I'm just going to take them and move on. All right, so for the next game, we have the Steelers taking on the Bengals. Pittsburgh last week, they lost. Close game. Warren looks like the superior back. Kenny Pickett's not really that good. And they take on the Bengals, who lost Joe Burrow. Jake Browning's their starting quarterback. It's not looking good for the Bengals, and I don't think Jake Browning's gonna have that good of a game against this really good defense. So I'm actually gonna take the Steelers for this one and then move on. All right, so next week we have the Panthers taking on the Titans. North Carolina got beat by the Cowboys, not surprising at all. The run game looked pretty all right. That's a surprise. But also they didn't really get a chance to run it that much since they were down most of the time. And they take on the Titans, who, yeah, they lost in a blowout against the Jags. So, but I am going to take the Titans here because I don't have any trust in the Panthers at all, and I won't until they prove me otherwise. All right, and so next week we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Colts. Tampa losing to the Niners last week, unsurprisingly. And yeah, we all expected that. And they take on the Colts, which I believe, yes, they were on bye last week. For that, they won a sad, sad game in Germany against the Patriots. That was an ugly game. That was a really ugly game. I do have them winning. I could definitely see a world where they lose the Bucks, but I am going to take the Colts just because I have a little bit more confidence in them. All right, so the next game we have, ew, this is gross. Ew. It's the Patriots taking on the Giants. Past Super Bowl matchup from back a while back when these teams were actually good. Ooh, give me the Giants and let's move on. Jacksonville versus the Texans. This should actually be a pretty interesting game. I think this is going to be a good game. And this could go either way. Houston does have a tendency to beat Jacksonville. Like earlier in the season, they just decimated the Jags. And I would not be surprised if Houston does it again. But I am going to give the slight edge to the Jaguars in this one. I'll move on. All right, so for the next game, we have the Browns taking on the Broncos. Now, this, you would have told me this was going to be a good game a few weeks ago. I would have thought you were a liar. But now, this might be a good game. This might genuinely be a fun game. Maybe a defensive game, but I think it might be a fun game. Not a lot of high points, but a good defensive game, and it might be fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, and so for this game, I have the Broncos. They won last week. They are on a roll, and I don't think the Browns can stop them. I really don't. That defense is really good, but also that offense, not good at all. All right, so next week we have the Rams taking on the Cardinals, divisional matchup. And Arizona lost to Texans. It was a bit closer than I thought it'd be. But, I mean, I'm not too surprised. And, yeah. Rams beat the Seahawks. I mean, hey, they're proven they're not that bad of a team. Not as bad as people thought they would be. So I'm going to take them to get another win here. And for the next game, we have the Chiefs taking on the Raiders. Chiefs losing to the Eagles in a close game. And they take on the Raiders, who lost in a close game, which they had so many opportunities to win against the Dolphins. And for this game, as much as I'd love to see the Raiders beat the Chiefs, I don't see it happening, and I'm going to take the Chiefs here. All right, so for the next game, we have the Bills taking on the Eagles. The Bills decimating the Jets. It's not a challenge, but that defense is actually pretty good. So, I don't know. I bet Zach Wilson probably turned it over a lot. And his backup didn't exactly play good either. So, yeah. And they take on the Eagles, which beat the Chiefs last week. The Eagles pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo took home the win this week, but I am going to take the Eagles this time. All right, so for Sunday Night Football, we have the Ravens taking on the Chargers. I don't think this is going to be a good game. I think this is another Ravens dominate the Chargers. I don't think this is going to be close. All right, so for the final game this week, we have Monday Night Football, the Chicago Bears taking on the Vikings. Chicago losing. They were ahead, and the Lions came from behind and beat them. It's tough. This season's rough for the Bears. And they take on the Vikings, which lost in a tough game against the Broncos. I am going to take the Vikings, obviously. Like, why wouldn't you? Could Chicago win? Yes. But I am going to give the edge to the Vikings. And that will do it for my Week 12 NFL predictions. If you thought they were good picks, tell me. If you thought they were okay picks, tell me. Because that my picks suck and I'm going to do horrible again. Or even worse. Tell me. I mean, I expect it at this point. But I didn't pick as many upsets. So, if it happens again, that just means I'm cursed, and I'm never going to do good anyway.